Your live show? Okay. And I got this thing too.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at the Calamity Jones Hour. I'm Mandy Jones, and next to me, as always, in spirit, Glenn, my husband. Tonight we got a great guest in the studio for you tonight. But first, a couple things. Share the show. Please share the show. And if you love me, what you'll do is you will subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I actually got an email that this person did. So good job. I actually checked my email for once in my life, so good job, Mandy. And I actually got that you subscribed, so thank you.
You check your email?
Yeah, it was not weird. I usually only at work when I get paid. I'm usually not even good at it then. But back to the good shit. I'm a stand-up comedian. I have two podcasts, one every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30. It's called The Wildflowers. And then every Friday you can find me here at the Calamity Jones Hour, where I have different friends of all walks of life, and we just talk about all different shit. But if you are here, welcome. But I think without further ado, we're going to bring on a really great guy, my friend, and now yours, Mr. Mad Boots. Woo!
We can use my real name now.
Welcome. Well, I usually call you by your last name. But we're not going to do that.
No, we can do that.
We could do that?
We can do that, as long as it's not shared as my last name.
Okay. Well,
I like my last name, so I'm like totally, honestly, as being an adult, where I don't like introducing myself as Longo, because that's like that weird conversation where it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
yeah, we're on a team.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love my last name. So.
Well, I always think of you when I see it like on the back of landscapers or like.
Right?
It's
always some Italian fucking, some
very Italian,
some pavers, yeah, Longo, yeah, no.
That's what I usually see it on. So we met in university, and you were studying. You have like a couple of degrees, no? I'm just a liar. You have just one degree.
I have a degree in philosophy. I have a major and a minor in religious studies.
Okay.
What class did we meet in? You said we met in a philosophy class.
Yeah,
what?
I couldn't remember exactly which one.
Because I don't remember. That's not why we started hanging out. Or did I first meet you there?
Well, you know what? Me and Frank, have the same date of birth. We're best friend buddies. We're BFFs with date of birth.
You got a 1/365 out of, chance?
Yeah, I mean, and we were always close, and I think that you knew him through
Amanda. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys went to high school together.
Yeah.
Bruno sang Evening Mandy Jones, Dave Lange. Yeah, so, I mean, Amanda was someone that we were talking about this right before the show started. People that are just kind of on your same wavelength, like people that maybe you have their contact information, but you never call them to hang out. You just run into them and they're in all the same places as you. Like that's how Amanda and I were. Like I'd go to a festival or I'd go to a concert and she was just there. And I had her number and stuff, but we were just always on that same wavelength. And you and I were kind of like that too, where we would just run into each other, even though we didn't have each other's numbers. And then I got into comedy. I found you via Facebook. And you gave me your real number, and the person who I had been hitting up like every 3 months was like, yeah, this isn't fucking Longo.
Because I definitely gave you, I remember.
I would just it would be like, hey, Longo. And they're like, yeah, it's not Longo, but I wouldn't delete the number. And so like every 3 months or 6 months, like messaging this person.
Because I remember,
they finally yelled at me.
You were always in my wavelength, and I remember there was this one defining moment where I thought you were dope because I was like over your house, and I was going someplace or whatever. I needed to do music, and you gave me a bunch of albums, and there's this one amazing album, and I've been trying to remember what it was, and you gave it to me, and I was like, I don't know. That's always like my little thing is I'm like, oh my God, this is some dope
Yeah, no,
Fucking
I specifically remember that because that was a big thing in college, pirating music and sharing music. And I remember like you being like, "Oh, I have like a hard drive," and I was like, "Oh, I'm about to hook you up," like because
yeah,
I kind of just knew what kind of music you were into. And that's still something that we share, like the Spotify. I mean, that's like you even said it to the one day like that you had a crush on a girl and then she wouldn't share her music, and you were like, "Ew," like
yeah.
like
No,
that's a
no,
total deal breaker.
no,
Like
no, no. I don't date like Z100 girls. No, I won't. They're
Z100.
or just
I've
like
actually been to their music festival.
really.
Yeah.
How was
It's
that?
like
How much were the beers?
it was no, it was my mother brought me. Yeah, my mother had brought me. Um I was a kid. I was young, maybe 9 or something
How much
because
older
my
is?
mom used to bring me to BLI concerts every summer.
What is that? Is that
Like
a?
WBLI,
Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay.
like a major radio station out here.
Yeah, but I don't live out here. I don't have that station
Oh
where
my
I grew
god, but
up.
you don't remember that? You like that was like when we were kids. That was like what's up.
What is kids? What do you mean? Okay, like what
I was
is
like
kids?
7.
You were like 7. I don't
It
know.
was the shit in
I
my
didn't.
house.
I have way. How older were your parents? Because my parents are old. My
Oh, maybe
father is
that's
like,
it.
yeah, my father is like Frank Sinatra, and my mom is like Simon and Garfunkel. So like, yeah,
She's
no,
Simon and Garfunkel.
yeah,
That's not
yeah,
very
two
nice.
bands, two bands.
Hi, Robin DeVito. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Yeah, it was just I don't know. Forget mainstream radio.
No, because like there was like a significant part. I remember when I realized that the music that I loved was so out of date. Like I distinctly remember being in someone's picked me up at school and they were playing that oh my god that song about grind baby when we're grinding I get so like that
Oh
song,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
remember just being like wow this is
Wow,
fucking
like
different,
new.
and this is I don't even know the sexual connotation about it, but I'm like this
Get
is
so
yucky, there's something yucky.
excited.
Like there's something creepy about this that I don't understand yet.
Yeah, well, that was like there was a couple of times my mom totally ruined music for me. Like I asked her I was totally just watching I asked her what sodomy was cuz I was listening to Blink 182. They say the state looks down on sodomy. And I was like a kid, like 11 years old, look at her like, "What's sodomy?" And she goes, "It's when they fuck you in the ass." And literally Mom, thanks for disturbing. The most two disturbing things are they, like multiple fucking people, and ass. Um, yeah. So, music definitely that, and what was that? There was the City High song where they're talking about the smoking rocks, and my mom like was like, "Oh, I don't like that," and then I knew that there was something bad in there to listen for. I didn't know exactly what it was, but she said, "Oh no, that smoking rocks," and the other one, which what is the song? Oh. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. That was the one that my mom was like, I don't like this. This is filth. And Glenn was like, oh, I never even thought of that being like a filthy song. Because we were young when that came out. That was all
Yeah,
like
yeah,
right
yeah,
around that
yeah.
age. Like you said, like you knew something felt like funny about it, but didn't know what it meant.
No, I was not exposed to that. I remember everybody when I was younger was listening to like Eminem, and I knew that obviously that stuff is filthy or whatever. And I was super into metal, and that stuff is filthy too. Well, nah, it's just a lot of cursing or whatever. But
Can
I
you
wasn't.
can, can you distinguish it? Like when I listen to metal, I can't like distinguish the words.
Oh no, 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 no. And as someone who still listens to like certain types of metal, I don't like it if I can hear the words
Oh, it's
at all.
that
At
ruins it.
all. The words are terrible. They're terrible. It's
Yeah,
not Bob Dylan.
and actually, I love Bob Dylan. For if we're gonna talk about it, oh, Captain Splash is saying hello, beautiful. It's pretty funny because she's Captain Splash with a K, and Glenn saw me texting her, and like he doesn't give a fuck. He knows I talk to people, and he just thought like waterworks. Like he just thought I was talking. He's like, that's an interesting fucking name, like. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have this lady on the show. She just does swim instructing, and she's got a little character who's Captain Splash who teaches the kids to, So, but he just thought like water fucking works, and
Okay,
he was like, I didn't want to
but
say anything, but he's like, okay, makes a little more sense.
that's a good
She's
reason.
saying, love this story.
There was like a, I would say not, maybe not like a close friend, acquaintance. There was an acquaintance who went by Splash, and I remember that no one could remember why she was named Splash,
Oh, was it
and it was just,
okay?
it was no, it was just like such a bad story. Like
Uh
it had nothing to do with anything, and it just kind of stuck, and we all called her that, and every time someone would bring it up, it would just be like, okay, and then we'd forget because it was just a bad story. At least that makes sense. She's a swim instructor.
Right, right. Exactly. Some context for us. But yeah, no, I don't remember exactly which class it was we met, and we had several classes together because Stony Brook's like pretty good about having, at least with the philosophy, there were small classes, like 30
Yeah, no
kids,
one
so you
takes it
could
there.
find
You don't go.
someone you know.
It's weird because um, uh, it's not a I don't even know what a philosophy school would be. I guess like NYU or Berkeley or something like that. But it really does have one of the best continental philosophy um, uh, programs in the United States. It really does. Which every other philosophy department is all analytic, and which I don't particularly like. I have a friend who's a professor at somewhere in California, UCLA. She's a professor of analytic philosophy. Genius, fucking girl. And I fucking hate it. I hate it.
Why?
But
Because she won't. They don't teach everything. Like
it's
they cut certain people out.
continental
They
is
censor.
continental is more like math, and I mean no, analytic is more like math, and continental is more two stoners talking about the Matrix. That makes
The
sense,
what
right?
ifs. Okay. Okay.
And I like the two stoners talking about the Matrix more. That's just like was my passion.
Who was your favorite to read?
Who was my favorite philosopher or author?
Well, we'll start with philosopher.
Um, we can. I'll go through the. I have a Nietzsche tattoo. I have a Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes is not fun to read. I love Nietzsche. I love all
What
the
was Hobbes's overall message?
Hobbes's state of nature. We're all kind of terrible, and we need like an authoritarian leader. And then we make
We don't make good decisions. We don't make
yeah, we
decisions
make terrible
well.
decisions. We're all just fighting constantly, and we need to give over certain rights to. I don't know. It's there's something about I've always had an authoritarian leaning where I'm like, people are kind of terrible. We need someone to control us. You know.
Well, I mean, I mean, Plato, that's basically what he comes down to. It's like, even though we don't really need it, I mean, even though we don't want it, or
I think it's so much
it's,
easier to be happy when it's like indoctrinated and forced on you than like being like given the opportunity to choose your own happiness. It's very, very hard, and I think that's too much to ask of people. I think it's easier to just trick them.
so we live under this totalitarian
Yeah, it's just like a
leadership.
he
And
talks
just,
about like it being like a king, and it's really just I guess it's apologetic to kingship or whatever, but it's just that people are normally stupid. They don't really know what's the best for them. And he even says it. Because the main thing is like, does it matter what's right or wrong? Does it matter that you're tricking people into like whatever? And it's like, no. It's better to just give them a reason, even if the reason is completely wrong. None of it makes sense. Just give some people a direction, and it's easier that way.
see, I always talk about, I like Aristotle because his shit was like, you shouldn't just like lie to people just because A, it's bad, and B, no one's gonna fucking believe you.
Yeah.
Like, he would just say like, everything that you do, you shouldn't really do it because like God's gonna like smite you. It's just your life's gonna be fucking easier if you're not a piece of shit dirtbag. Like, I mean, if you don't lie to people, if you can help them with a hand, if you help them, he broke it down into all different virtues and all different like sections that you kind
See,
of
I've
like
never really,
optimize.
I've never really read Aristotle because for some reason, I never took a class where he was really studied that much in college. But Epicurean talks a lot about that, and it's just being happy, and you have to make certain decisions where it's like, isn't it happy? Like, doesn't it make you happy to just be nice to someone? Like at a 7-Eleven, and he gives you the wrong pack of cigarettes instead of like blowing up on him, does that really make you feel good? Just be like, hey, sir, you gave me the wrong cigarettes.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for getting the right cigarettes.
I try to be super friendly to like service people just because I work in the service industry, and people, when they're taking their bad day out on you, it's like, would you fucking get in a fight with your wife or your husband, or why are you coming at me like with when I'm literally just information like.
But you have that like moment
but,
where it's like,
but you understand
what
just
people.
Yeah,
This is not me that you're taking this out
yeah,
on. Like I didn't do anything to you.
Right, you're just a
so
grumpy
like,
ball of energy right now.
And I've always felt nice. It's always like self-gratifying to be like, I will be your punching bag. As long as you don't punch me. You can just say whatever horrible shit you want to me. And I'll leave here and be like, maybe I helped.
Yeah, and it's funny because Glenn and I are always like, why are we the people that people feel like they could say depraved, or like, yeah, you know what happened? And like, I'm like, wow. Like, and I'm not judgmental, so go ahead, lay it out on the floor, and I'll tell you what I think.
Do you think it's you?
my Linda's saying too serious. I want to laugh. Do you think Linda, we're all horrible people. We want to.
Do you think it's you? Because sometimes I'm like, yeah, no, I'm definitely like someone who can like, people can just talk to me. And I'm like, no. He probably just said horrible shit to the last 10 people who've come in.
He just says horrible shit to everybody, actually. And I'm like, oh,
I don't look like I'm a nurturing person at all. No. It's stop blowing your ego up.
They left their secrets with me. No, they're fucking idiots. Yeah, no, it's just... I don't know. It's trying to think about all these different things and what's right for you versus right for everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, because you made a big decision on your 30th birthday. I mean, it's reversible, right? But...
What do you mean? Oh, that? No. I thought you said...
Can we talk about that?
Of course.
Okay, so what did you get yourself for your 30th birthday? You guys laugh at
I think it was like my 31st.
31st birthday, that's true.
It wasn't even like that. It was just like, I've been trying to get a vasectomy forever. And obviously they won't...
Since you found out what it was?
Well, I've just wanted one. Because I know that make mistakes. And like there's certain mistakes that I'll handle. But like shit gets real when you have a kid, and I want that to definitely be something that I decide on. So I got a vasectomy, especially because I had fucking healthcare, and that shit was all handled.
Well, what made me laugh about it is I was like, oh, do you have like a certificate? And you're like, actually, they need to like make sure that there's like none like fucking just swimming around. Yeah, those are the ones you definitely don't want fucking born, dude.
They keep on right, because they're definitely Or maybe they're the strongest. I've killed off all the regular ones, and the last ones surviving are,
Buzzing
the alpha.
Around.
Yeah, the alpha ones.
Yeah.
No, they keep on wanting me to go back in, and they're like, "We need you to go to the hospital, get your sperm checked out." I'm like, I don't know if you know what's going on right now, but I really don't want to go to the hospital right now.
Yeah, not just for
just
extra.
to come in a cup.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll do that. When I'm not gonna risk my life for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying, but you said so you've already thought about a reverse surgery? Because I didn't even know that was possible until like recently. I was like, wait, a reverse vasectomy even fucking exists? I didn't even know that was fucking possible.
Well, no, I totally like I've like figured out all the answers, right? Because people just are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, no, I have all the checks, and it's reversible. These are all my excuses to just be like, okay, let's end this conversation. It's reversible.
Well, and also I'm a big believer in you should just adopt kids or foster kids.
Not you, everybody.
I mean, there's totally enough people on the earth.
I feel like it's like picking out a dog, Like, I'm not going to adopt a dog before it's born. I want to know if the dog is cool,
See what you're working with?
Yeah. I want to be able to take it back, right? And be like, hey, this one's not working. Let me exchange this one.
And you have several siblings. So you have an uncle.
Yeah. But they're all half. And they're all significantly older.
And growing up, you lived as mostly a child.
Mostly like an oldie, yeah.
And
like I probably was just like the most annoying person to them. And I was like, oh, fucking, my brother's here. Hey, let's
Are you,
fuck up his shit.
are you going to see any of them for the holidays?
No. Two of the, like,
Are they in New York?
I think one of them's flopping around New York. One of them's in Florida. One of them I have no idea with and one of them's in Providence. I have, on my mother's side, I have one, and I'm close with, as close, he's cool. He's a cool guy.
And what's the age difference there?
Like, 20 years?
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's kind of it's hard to be.
Like 17.
It's like growing up an only child.
Yeah, more or less.
Because even Glenn says with the 7-year difference with him and his brother, like he was old enough that his mom was like, "You can't beat the baby." Like,
and there's
you're
always
like you're not a baby anymore.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And there's like this unique thing where they're all half. So it was like if I was a piece of shit, they would just be mad that the other parent wasn't taking care of them, as well or whatever.
But I like to think of it not as like a broken situation. I just feel like I have so many little patches of family everywhere because my parents are divorced, my mom's remarried, my dad has girlfriend. It's like I just feel like I have so much family. What, your mom and dad? Did your dad ever remarry?
No, they never.
Neither of them ever remarried.
They weren't even married together. I'm pretty sure that my mom knew that I was definitely, let's say, a mistake. It wasn't planned. Not
you were a mistake?
She was totally cool with it or whatever. Not like oh my god, what are we gonna deal with that? But
wasn't even mad.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was not planned. Definitely at that age where they're like, we don't need condoms anymore at all.
We're good.
Yeah. Because I also look at, I don't know how you are, but I look at my parents and it's like a hippie and a fucking cop. I'm like, you guys, I'm surprised you even had a relationship other than just a weird hookup. I know they had a relationship.
Yeah, my parents were together for 16 years and I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
They're completely different opposite people that I don't know how they survived 16 years not killing each other.
No. I look at my mother and I'm like, you would have been arrested by my father. I know what you were doing.
Well, yeah, no, the authorities definitely got involved a couple times in mine.
I know what you were doing in the 60s. He would have arrested you.
Oh, he would have arrested her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because your mom's got an education too. Like my mom was just fucking high school, so you actually came into the world ahead of me. Having was education super valued in your home? Was your mom like there's no TV, there's books, that type of thing?
I mean, yeah, more or less, but I didn't have cable at my mother's house, so okay, you're gonna take the TV away? No, it wasn't that. I don't know. It wasn't, education was always important to my mother, but it wasn't you need a job for it, which is why I fucking took philosophy. Honestly, I think it's the worst thing is going for a job interview and they just look at you and they're like, why the fuck did you take this? It's
right.
Detrimental.
The meaning of life.
Yeah, no, it's totally you didn't plan for your career at all. It's no, not at all. I didn't plan.
Dreamer, a silly heart.
I totally was my perfect job would be just assembly line screwing in a thing.
Under
listen to my
totalitarian.
Podcast. I just want to be a little ant and let me do my own thing, let me dream or whatever.
But if you're an ant, you're not going home and listening to music. If you're an ant, you're working for the fucking hive or the hill.
I think that's really judgmental on
Hey, Mandy Jones. Is what Adam Snare's saying. Hey, Adam. Yeah, and we're putting Bruno to sleep earlier before. I think we're good now, though. Yeah. I disagree. I don't want to just be in an anthill. I don't want to just help the mother be. I mean, I like having my job. I like being not so much a cog in the system. I like being part of the system. I like it with my job. I do have to work with moving pieces and people.
Oh no, I hate it. I totally okay. So I actually have been enjoying my job, but it's just because it's been something. I've told you what I've been doing recently. With my job, I have no idea what I'm doing. But since COVID, I've just been fucking around trying to get chemicals from weird obscure countries because they'll sell it, and I've been bypassing sanction laws and stuff like that. it's like really exciting because all of a sudden I get to know like global politics. I'm like, oh, we could totally ship this from Iran and we can ship it to here and then put it onto like this weird boat and they'll just like put the wrong flags onto it and bring it to China and we'll get it from China. I'm like, this is great. Like it feels like I'm
I want this job, this trafficking job.
yeah, no, it's like fucking just straight trafficking.
So it's all what, ingredients for different things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah. Just weird toxic chemicals.
making? And what are the outcomes of these toxic like what are they like what's
What am I
something
making?
yeah, what are you up to?
Just like the stuff that like grease for I don't know
Wheels?
yeah, the pipes down Louisiana. I've made the ingredients for like the tops of all. Like I dropped my phone on the LIRR platform,
Okay.
and I cracked it on something that I make. Like they made all this,
Irony.
yeah. They make all this like really rough stuff at my work that they put so that people don't
You're
fall
like,
down.
oh man.
It's just stupid, yeah.
This concrete like rubber that I designed.
Yeah.
That I just fucking broke my phone on.
I have no idea how I've gotten this job, and I have no idea why I've had it this like long.
Well, I think that's most of like life in general. Like me even running this podcast right now. Like literally just bought the equipment. I didn't buy the equipment. Husband bought the equipment. Set up. All right, Fridays, this is what I'm doing.
This is great.
And here we are.
I mean, this is awesome. Like this is when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna like do something with my COVID time." Like you did something.
Yeah.
Most people are just the excitement and the good feeling of thinking about accomplishing something was enough for them.
Right. They were like, I'm gonna, whatever. I'm gonna have a garden next year. They're like, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. And just that like
I'm gonna
wonderful
have a
feeling.
garden.
Just that great feeling of thinking about having a garden.
Because that's one of mine that like I've already like in my head, like once it's spring, it'll be happening. But right now it's like on the list of it's pretty much accomplished. Until spring when I don't accomplish it. I could see that being a problem. But I guess that's kind of good. I guess the potential in people is what makes people happy there. Like, I mean, they ask people
The thought of having potential is what makes people happy.
that's
really all you
being
need.
able to have a garden.
Because trust me, once you make the garden, you start having bad feelings, and you're like, wow,
Well, then
these
you
tomatoes are
have to tend to
terrible.
it,
Yeah,
and you have to water it. That was my big thing that failed in my garden.
it's so much better just having potential than like actually trying to fulfill it. It's so much better.
Well, that's what I was trying to tell my boss when I was trying to use my big boy words to tell them why I was like, they're asking about the different things they could do. And one of my problems with the employees that I work with is like the potential inside them. Because like, I'm like, they, in lack of a better term, what my dad always called it is playing stupid. Like, don't play stupid. Like, just when you totally are capable of something and you're calling me and like, oh, I don't have like the tool, and I'm like, okay, let me like put you on the phone with the boss then. They're like, oh wait, here it is in my pocket, and like I found it, like I can do the job actually, like don't tell the boss. And you're like, you're a fucking asshole. Like, okay, thank you. Like, but certain times they're really like, I don't have the tool, and you're like, okay, like I actually need a second man and like more tools, and like it's like a legitimate total thing. But discerning what that information is. So that was my big word. And when I was trying to like get out, I'm like, it's the potential. Is what bothers me because I know they're capable of this stuff.
Yeah, but when you don't, when you're capable of something and you apply yourself and you don't accomplish anything, that's like, you know what I mean? So like the same thing is when you were like, oh yeah, just. It was so insightful of you saying, just be mad at work and look like you're doing something. Because I've done something at work, and it's just really frustrating how little you accomplish. And it's so much more enjoyable to just look mad and not accomplish anything and have everybody be like, well, it's the best he can do. Look, he's really...
he's so flustered. He's doing everything he can. I do try to remain calm. The last couple of days at work, I've not been cool at all. I've been like not cool at all. But I do try to remain calm. I try to be a team player. I try to, because I know that a lot of people, and people don't realize how easy they are to read. Like the one guy, he's love him to death. He's in his 60s, but he's like a pat on the back type of guy. Like he like does something and comes around. And he's like, I did that quote for you. By the way, helping you out. Those quotes, those parts are gonna be in. And like, it's great. He's doing his job, but like, you don't have to tell me every time you fucking check something off your list. But that's the kind. And like, also like, if there's a problem, he'll get the job thrown in his lap, and he's like, why is this shit landing on my lap? And I'm always like, because you're the problem solver. Like, it's because you're the best. Like, they only give it to the best. He's like, that's right, I am the best. Like, I'm like, right? Like, they wouldn't give you this big problem if you weren't the best. Like, and he totally loves it. Like, and that's how his brain works. Like, certain people, they're like, yo, you did not do well. Like, and that fuels their fire. If you tell me I didn't do well, I'm like, fuck you, work for yourself. Like, I will slow fucking production down to a screeching halt. Like, I don't cooperate well like that. Like,
I was gonna say I'm super naive, so I'm not good at reading people. But you're right. When you work with someone for a long time, they're super easy to read, and that's really disheartening because I didn't realize how definitely ezy I am to read.
well,
I
yeah,
definitely
because
am.
you come in sometimes like, gee willikers, like, fucking hate work. Like, I go fucking hate everybody. Like, yeah, and that's how I am too. I'm like, fucking, like, and it's like everyone knows, Mandy, because you like preach about like how you should just be open and positive, and like you will receive gifts from the universe, and here you are, like being a fucking abrasive piece of shit, basically, just not going with the flow, not helpful. But it's really just my own internal struggles.
I do like there's
something personal.
There's this box in the warehouse that I used to sleep in, and so like, I had a coworker just be like, "Do you really think you're being slick? Like you just walk in, and then you go, and then disappear for 2 hours, like you're sleeping in a box. Like
we could see your sneakers out the bottom of the box."
And I was like, no one, like we all know.
And you're like, what? Like getting like the sleepies out your eyes. I don't know what you're talking about, like in pajamas. No, I seriously, yeah. My place is completely bugged. Like, I know I'm like on the, like, I know that they can hear my phone calls. I know that they could. I was like, even when I was working from home, I'm like, you could probably see my mouse, like how often it's fucking moving. Cause like and we have all sorts of lists that you need to like accomplish. Like you can click around and see like all the different metrics of everything that we've done. So like my boss will be like, how's like that coming along? And I'm like, not well. And he's like, yeah, I noticed there were like 76 jobs on that list. I'm like, yeah, like you obviously just fucking checked. You're asking me about it. But you know what I mean? It's one of those. And yeah, but I really do try to be a team player, but like I do not. When I'm not happy, just fucking leave me alone. Because I'm not happy. Which is not a good way to be. I'm trying to shake that. I'm trying to be more conscious of being angry and being obnoxious and trying to remove it. Because there are certain, I mean, like, certain times I feel like you just try to take the, like you try to do things that maybe someone's going to ask you about that's against the society typically. Like, even that, let's say your nails, which are adorable, by the way. Longo has Christmas nails on. But some people might ask if you're gay. And are you gay at all? Why are you getting so quiet? Because I'm not getting an actual statement out.
No. Yeah. I was waiting for what you were to say.
Waiting for me to make a point.
Yeah.
No, I think you kind of go against the grain of society, and sometimes I feel like I'm like, is he just being are you just being obnoxious?
I used to, yeah. No, when I was younger, I used to be obnoxious, and the nail thing was something weird that just kind of happened, and every time I look at my nails when they're not painted, I kind of feel like they're bland.
I look like shit.
Yeah, it's not even like they look like shit. I'm just like, they look fucking boring. or whatever.
They are kind of boring, and
They're
I
fucking
specifically
boring.
don't have nail polish on.
Yeah, no, and it really, I'll tell you, okay, so the reason why I started painting my nails again, I started it exactly, you're right. I started when I was younger, and, okay.
Yeah, let's
When I was
crack the wine for this.
when I was younger, I didn't even know what the term gay meant. Like, it was something that was just bad. And I was like, okay, I don't want to be that. And then I learned it, and I remember, like, in fourth or fifth grade, I had a teacher who was like, my health teacher was Mr. Mackey, hilariously. And he said this thing, and I was like, oh, anybody could be gay. Anybody could be gay. And I was like, whoa, that shit could just happen to you? Like, all of a sudden, you just, like, something happens. Yeah, just wake up one morning.
Gay.
You know, and I had to, like, figure out what that shit meant. And, like, I did some research on myself. Like, I viewed some shit. And, like, it was very concrete. I was like, nah, I'm not into this at all. But then I got, like, there was a point where I was like, wow, people really don't like gay people. And they get, like, and because, like, it was still, like, you can't just beat them up. Because we were past that point. You can't just drag them by the back of your truck anymore. That wasn't cool anymore. But you could,
yeah, but people still have a big problem with it.
Yeah, you could still just be, like, icky about it. And I was like, this is hilarious. Because being gay is, like, super cool. It's fine. It's not that big a deal. Of all the things that you could do and have a preference for, it's not that ridiculous. But if this makes you uncomfortable, that's awesome. Because I'm going to really enjoy this. And so there was, like, a point in my life where, yeah, I would wear a nail polish or I'd wear a dress because I was like, wow, I get a reaction.
Dress too?
Yeah, just, like, fucking anything.
A frilly dress?
No, because, like, it would be stuff that I stole from girlfriends or whatever.
Okay. I mean, you used to always have your hair long too, but that's like
yeah, but I didn't have
a unisex thing.
Yeah, and I never had it chicky. Like, what
do you mean?
Like, I tried to straighten my hair because I started growing.
Oh, you never had a chickie. You never had like a chick. Okay.
I started growing my hair when I was super into metal, and I wanted that, like, slick black Norwegian, like, evil
Oh, you
look.
have nice curly hair.
No, it's like a fro with a missing piece. It was terrible.
I feel like a missing piece.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, who was on last week, he was like, "You can't even look at me. You have a Jew fro right now."
Yeah, no, it was
That's
so.
what he said to you. And he's a Jew guy, so he's allowed to say that. People pleaser, hard work, but everybody likes you. Yeah, not a people pleaser. I kind of am. I try to please people. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know how you treat other people other than me.
Well, I treat you with such care. I love you.
Yeah, you do.
So much so that I thought I was going to be on the first fucking 48 last time I fucking hung out with you because your mom called me. I dropped Longo off at the train station and then doesn't make it home on time. You slept through the fucking where you stopped, where you're supposed to.
Totally. And then I fell asleep at Penn Station. But it's like she's just neurotic.
I'm glad she cares about you. But I was like, fuck, I'm the last person that saw this fucking asshole. And I'm just picturing myself on the first 48. Like, I left him at the train station, and they're like, yeah, and what else? like, why don't you have any more information on this situation?
Yeah, she was like, fucking, what? She was like, I'll drive you there. I'm like, no, like, nothing that she did was wrong. Nothing, like, she's had bad experiences where I fucked up or whatever, and she's like...
She just was worried.
She's found me, like, overdosed. Yeah. So, like, that's, like, one of those things where I'm just like, I get that you're neurotic. You have to understand that, but, like, you have every reason to worry about me.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, you found me in bad spots, and
she's your mom. She's never gonna grow out of that.
I can't shit on her. She's been awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah. Well, can we bring up your mom and Rob's relationship?
Adorable. He's like, and it's, the funny thing about it is, she gets that from my father. Like, Italians kiss each other on the lips.
I want to have Rob on the show with you. He's like your hype dad. You two guys are like Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Just like finish each other's sentences. And when did you two meet? Like, how old were you?
We met each other in Pee Wee football.
Oh my god! So like
Isn't that so
grade
gay?
school,
Yeah, yeah. That's so.
and now you live together. So you've
Yeah.
never been apart ever.
No, well, yeah, no, not really. No. It's so creepy. It's like legitimately creepy.
No, it's nice. I mean, I have Shawnee lives here, close friend. That's like brother from another mother. That's like it gets to be a point. It's like where
What do you
does
mean? Like
one
how long do you
end?
know him?
I've known him as long as I've known Glenn. I've known him since I was 19.
That's not that. We're talking about Pee Wee football.
I know, but
Like
still.
I remember.
But once you live with someone, it's a new level of.
I remember listening to that when the Gorillaz song first came out. That
Ooh, which spawned
the first one, the I got happen.
Oh,
Like
good.
that's
Feel
so
Good Inc.
old.
Feel Good Inc.
That's the album before.
No, wait, Feel Good Inc.'s the newer one. What's the other one?
The original
Sunshine.
self-title.
In a bag of
Yeah,
That's
that's
such a
how
good song.
long I know him. And like it's creepy because oh my god, that's so long.
That is a good fucking song though.
That is a great song. Yeah.
No subject, Linda. What is the subject tonight, Linda? And Linda, we're not. There is no subject. If you guys have any questions for Matt, bring it up. We've got 19 minutes left, sir. Is there anything particular you want to talk about?
Yes.
What's up?
Tell me how your high school was.
Oh, high school. Well, I graduated high school in 3 years rather than 4. Not because I was smart, because I fucking hated high school. No, I didn't really hate. It's weird because I was like, not like if you talk to kids individually, I didn't have kids. I didn't have a problem with people individually, but in a group mentality, I was fucking hated. Like, I feel like individually, everyone's like, yeah, no, we don't have a problem with you anymore. Like, you're cool. Like, it's no big deal. But my ex and my current boyfriend at the time, current meaning high school boyfriend, made problems with my ex and all her friends and all her shit. So he didn't go to my school. So he basically caused a bunch of fucking ruckus and problems with these people, and then like left, and then leave because he didn't go to my school. But I was left to just deal with people, and I was like, "Fuck this, fuck you, fuck that," like because I really loved the kid, and I was like loyal, aka will fucking take people's shit for you. Yeah, it was not fun, really.
It's like the dumbest thing to do is be loyal in high school. I feel
yeah,
like
be
I
loyal
was
to
too.
someone who's not even there to have your fucking back.
That's not. It doesn't even matter. Just in general, it's just like I feel like high school is an opportunity that I messed up in being loyal. Like it worked out. I had a great time, but like I should have just not been loyal and had some funny stories about like some shit. I mean, I had that later. I had like all cheating, blah blah blah, happen later. But like, it would have been easier to deal with if it was in high school because I felt like everybody did that in high school.
What? Everyone cheated?
Yeah, everybody cheated.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was just.
It's nice to get out of like, let me fuck my best friend's girl. Get that out in like high school. Do you know what I'm saying?
When it doesn't
Before,
matter.
before it doesn't matter. You know, yeah.
For anybody, for anything. Well, I mean, that's just kids fucking up relationships and stuff. And the weird part was my ex had introduced me to this person. So they knew each other, and then me and him were together, and he turned on her, and then fucking full circle, like I'm in college and home for the summer, and he calls me, and he's like, guess who I'm hanging out with? Like, I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad you guys are, like, I'm glad that fucking my shit was all fucked up for so long. And you guys are totally fucking cool now. Awesome. Like, I guess I'm cool with it. You guys now? Like, that's really what it was. It was like one of those, like, turning point things. But I remember getting that call and being like, wow, okay, thanks, cool. Like, I think I would have much rather you guys hated each other forever. Like, I think that would have made more sense in my fucking little head. But we all grew up. You know, he
Well,
got
that's
married. She,
see that makes
did
me
her own
feel
thing.
bad because like I've been that guy in that relationship who got along with the other guy, and I didn't realize that I was
We were
totally
pals
yeah that I
after we
totally
totally were destructive in your fucking life.
yeah I didn't realize how rude that was to just
It's
be cool
totally
with
rude.
him. Yeah, no, I
Totally
totally
rude.
get it.
You should hold a grudge for an appropriate. But most people. But my whole thing now is like I don't want anybody to hold anybody's baggage. Like even with the comedy, like you put on a comedy show and people are like, "Oh, well, he used to date and she used to." I'm like, I do not have time for who used to fuck who. Like, you know what I mean, or who used to. You know what I mean? You can't go into any of that. It's like, do you want fucking stage time or not? Like, you guys want to get and you don't want to get along. There's a big room of people. Just go to the other side of the room. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, grown ups, adults missing opportunities because somebody else that might have hooked up with some. It's like,
No, but I get it. There's something that I share because I've had it happen too, where, but this happened later than high school where it was like that messed up, where two girls that I was like with, they like became friends, and I was like, oh my God, they're gonna realize that I do the same creepy things.
that I have the same protocol. It's the same intake procedure.
Yeah. Where because there was one thing where like one of my go-to lines is like, wow, oh shit, you've gotten prettier, you've gotten sexier, or something like that, like just like some cheesy fucking line. And I've had a girl been like, I know you do that with fucking everybody.
I know
and
it's
I was
your
like,
fucking line, dude. She told me you were gonna say that.
Yeah. No.
She told me you were gonna say that. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. That's a bad look. Them teaming up on you.
Oh, totally horrible.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a lot of people that say that kind of stuff, like that kind of like
They'll be like
you're my
sitting there.
first, not like first sexually, but you're like, oh, I've never done this before. I never told anybody this. Little like it's like he tells everybody that he's fucking that's his.
Because I know the type of girls
fucking.
that I've like been with, and they're definitely like, oh, so you're hooking up with Longo? Let me tell you what really hurts his feelings.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna try really hard to hurt his feelings and be mad because he's gonna do some messed up shit. But I'm gonna tell you the one thing to not bring up. You're gonna bring it up. Yeah, no, I know that they're like they have a little powwow and stuff like that.
Well, you're big on pranks with Rob, your roommate. I just thought of something horrible that you've done that's like fucking really bad. I mean, it's not really bad, but just fucking, you're a bad person. You would think of this. Taking his laundry and fucking stopping the dryer. Waking up to wet laundry instead of dry laundry. That fucking sucks, dude. That's like, when I heard that, I was like, he's like, you don't know what he does to me. And he's like, and you and Jill had just hid one of his hats.
Well, because
and he had found it like 3 days later. I was there on like day 3.
But it's always just like he'll come home and he'll pass out for like, you know, however long, and he'll decide to do laundry at like 2 a.m. And it's always like, why did you, like, you've been sitting here for how long? And he has like a certain time, and it's like after 12 to do laundry. I don't know. I guess that's rude. But whatever. He gets me back. He gets me back so much worse.
Well, I know. You are always just pranking each other. I don't start pranks because, okay? We don't start pranks because I just don't want to be part of that at all. Like,
no, I've realized. Yeah. No,
I don't want to wake up and with one eye open. I don't want to.
Because I'll try my best to be like polite about a prank, but he'll just be like over it and just pour water on my bed. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, yeah, he'll just do the worst. He'll just be like, I'm ending this right now.
Water on the bed.
Yeah. He's not. At least I try to be like clever about them or whatever. Like there was. So since I've been in school for a long time, I haven't been cleaning up, and I was always the person who was cleanest. I know it doesn't look like I am, but I've always been the clean person in the house. So he was mad at me for not cleaning up, but I was always the person who would clean up. And what I thought would be funny is I just unscrewed one of our cabinets in the kitchen, and I just turned it around. Which is like such a dumb thing, but for some reason it's so funny to me. It's just backwards. It's just I've turned it. It's just backwards, and it was so funny to me, and it annoyed them so much. Both of them. I finally turned it around because I didn't realize. Like I thought it would just annoy him because it
You
was
don't
a
want to
joke
hear
that
about it anymore.
he has this thing where he was like, "Oh, I don't close the cabinets because he used to leave all the cabinets open because he used to live in a house that like the cabinets would close. You know, like you leave a door open and it like closes automatically. He's like, that's why I leave it because like I'd walk into the kitchen, and it'd be all open.
Because you're spoiled, okay.
It's
because you had magnets on your
yeah, because you had
bike.
magnets on your table or whatever. And I don't know, it was like the dumbest thing ever. But like you know, I'm not that close with Jill. Even though I live with her, like we still have this like distance or whatever. She just like walked in the kitchen, just like, what the fuck? I felt so bad.
Oh, with the cabinet?
With the cabinet, yeah. And I was like, I'm
so
sorry.
I gotta deal with this shit.
I'm just trying to harass your boyfriend if I'm like, you know, making your day worse.
I didn't mean to terrorize your life. I'm sorry. That terrorized your life? I'm sorry. I just meant to upset him. Well, and leaving you were putting what, shoes in the cabinet when he wasn't leaving? Wasn't that punishment for leaving the cabinet
just
open?
Like weird stuff. No, like I would just go into the kitchen and leave all the cabinets open. And then he would go into he was like, what the fuck? And go into my room and like open all my drawers. Which is like, whatever, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, that's...
I try my best to be like, I'm not like a prankster, but like I do really love watching people being frustrated. Like that's like I love watching people being frustrated. Like honestly, I think the best prank, you brought up shoes, the best prank I ever did is we were at one of those shoes off house and I just hid everybody's left shoe. Which is not that funny. It's kind of funny. But the funny part is
what I would call that.
Yeah, but the funny part is that I hid my left shoe and I didn't hide someone else's left shoe.
Oh, there you go.
So everybody
turned on them?
Yeah.
Was it a boy or a girl?
It was a boy.
Did he want him to get thrown out?
No. It was just someone who I knew could deal with it.
Oh, okay. It was someone strong.
It was someone strong. It was someone who I knew could deal with it. But it was the greatest thing, just like sitting there and just watching people freak out on him.
Yeah. And him swearing that he
didn't
do it.
Yeah. Just putting myself into that position and being like, wow, this must be horrible.
And you had to like pick up like a burning torch, and
it was Sam. You know my friend Sam? It was Sam. It was just like, you know what? You could live with this.
Yeah. And he's like, come on, guys. I don't know why.
And it was so funny because there was like everybody left and they were like, we're done with this. And he was just like down. I was like, what the fuck? Who did it? And I was just like cracking. It was like, I knew you did it.
Typical. Yeah, no, I never, not a lot of pranks. My mom always, growing up, like, don't scare each other. She never liked, like, being scared, like, getting popped out on. So she was just like, you're not allowed to do that. Because she was just, I guess, fearful that it was going to happen to her.
It's like a sadist thing. It definitely is. I love seeing people frustrated. I love watching couples fight. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just, like, watch couples fight, and then they make up. And then I know that one thing that's going to make one of them flip out again. I'm like, remember that one time?
But you still didn't apologize for the when you first
started. Yeah. Remember that one? Yeah. You didn't apologize for that. That was kind of rude. And it's not like, it's not even like I'll pick on one of them. It's just like whoever I think won that last battle.
Whoever needs
whoever needs that like
boost.
Whoever needs that put me down. I do favor
that reality
women.
Check.
I'm a feminist. I do always favor the women, you know.
I hope. Yeah, I would not call myself a feminist. I'm not a very good feminist.
Yeah, but that's only because you think that feminism has turned to this cringy, horrible thing.
They've ruined it. They've ruined it, guys. We have 6 minutes. I don't think I can get into it. No, I don't. I think that cringy. What do you mean?
I don't know, because you
elaborate.
Well, I've watched like those like cringy feminist videos that are on YouTube or whatever, where people just, you know, you could pick any political view and you could just get cringy about it.
Just overdoing it.
Yeah. Where they take like I'm not like a huge I don't know. It's just yeah, where you overstep your boundaries or you just get too ridiculous about it.
Hey, baby. Yeah.
But like I was raised by a feminist, so I'm totally cool with it. But I've also shit on her because she'll put like an Ayn Rand book out because she'll buy it because it's like yeah, exactly. She'll buy it because she's like, oh, it's a feminist writer. I was like, yeah, but like this is the most anti-feminist stuff ever.
I've never read any Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand's a great writer. She really is.
But how is an anti-feminist?
I mean,
what was her lifestyle like?
Well, she's like very. I mean, what is it? Not Atlas Shrugged. Her other one, The Fountainhead.
Okay.
The main character like goes around raping this one girl, and she likes it, and like it's just like really crude. It's like, it's a great book. It's a great book. I'll recommend it. But you know.
Yeah, that's not exactly feminist.
Like, no, it's not. It's not. You shouldn't just be like, yeah.
Yeah, like non-consent. Yeah, no, I have never read that one.
You should. It's really a great book. I like her fiction. She's like laughed at as a philosopher. Her reviews are ridiculous, but she's a great writer. She really is.
My buddy had one of her quotes up the other day. It was, it's not who's gonna let me, it's who's gonna stop me, which I love.
Yeah. It sounds like that sounds like a quote that you would put under like Martin Luther King, and just be like, no. It's actually that's from Hitler or what is it? Like, there's this great one where, what is it? It's better to live one day as a lion than 1,000 years as a sheep. And like Amanda, our friend, posted that, and I was like, dude, that's Mussolini, man. Like that's not your political opinions at all, man. That's rough.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing, and everybody's an asshole, and they'll repost like the quote and they'll put like Bukowski under it. Or
Totally.
They'll just totally like just take somebody's quote, put somebody else's face on it, and like these poor kids, that are just resharing or whatever, just trying to make it. And like, I'm like, do you realize how ironic you are? Like, do you realize like the magnitude of this? Like, it's ridiculous, and I don't think a lot of people do, and it's like is really bad.
No, it's not. It's amazing. It really like puts what's going on in perspective. Like, I'm totally one of those 4chan people who will literally do that. Just like share a quote and be like, here, yeah, share it. Cool. You don't even know. This is Pol Pot. He killed like a fourth of the country of Cambodia.
I don't even know who that is, but yeah, no, not good person to be like quoting.
I mean,
like,
not
well,
as a,
was he motivational? What was the quote?
As a liberal transgender woman,
before I actually say anything, what was the quote?
Well, I'm joking. I don't know any Pol Pot
but
quotes,
to that effect.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Pol Pot. He's kind of.
I forget whose quote it is, but it's "Nobody cares, work harder." And like I had a picture of that, and it was it had a woman like looking down like a street, and it said "Nobody cares, work harder." And the person person commented on, they were like, "Yeah, a man's quote under a picture of a woman." Like it didn't even have who the quote was, and I'm like, wow, everyone's like.
I mean, personally, like I don't think there's anything wrong with really enjoying a quote from someone you totally disagree with.
And yet, you could take it out of context.
But you have to realize that you're posting this and that you would care if you knew that this was coming from them.
Right. As long as you just have some sort of intel.
I'll post, I don't know, the most horrible person that I can think of. I don't know.
Well, all your profile pictures are like dictators. Who's the one guy, the white guy he had gotten in trouble, and then that was your post. Was he a judge? I forget who he is. He's like,
oh, you mean the guy?
He's like screaming in the picture.
Oh, that's
who is that? It's someone I'm supposed to know because I know when shit popped off with that.
He's a senator. What's his name?
But what did he get in trouble for?
He didn't get in trouble for anything. He's just I don't know. Most of my friends are liberal and they hate him, and I think he's hilarious.
Once again, just being obnoxious is just
yeah. Because like there's a point where I I do come off as super liberal, obviously, but I mean, dude, some of like Trump is fucking hilarious.
It's a lot of content. That's just all of them. I mean, I don't.
All that, like, and I get like there's yeah, there's a lot of guys on the right that I'm like, wow, you know, he believes in this and he's doing a really good job for his beliefs. So, hey, man, cheers to him.
Yeah, I don't follow it enough to like actually know what they're going through.
I don't know. I think there's something that like I won't say there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes you should step out of yourself and imagine that you were in a different, be like, wow, if I felt this way, they were actually really good at their job. They were, you know, um, I'm like zoning out, but you know, whatever. I have to remember that guy's name. He's amazing because I remember him in what was it when the Kavanaugh hearings. That's what that's
it
from.
was. That's
what
it
it's
was.
from. And
That's
he
what it
just like I
was.
was like, wow. Do you realize what a good job he did being outrageous and just
Yeah, no, that's what it was.
so
The
when it was
Kavanaugh
like such a
hearing.
stupid decisive thing whereas like you both of you guys are just going to your emotions or whatever and I'm like he did a really good job like he really like wow maybe I disagree with him I don't think he's right but
But hand
wow
that
like
man an
he's you
Emmy.
know that guy had an opinion and power to him he spoke it and he did a really good job.
But that's usually when you can tell someone's like lying and stuff when they say someone's like when they're
Oh
really
it
passionately
was totally a
like
show.
when it was acting when you start
I
acting.
think there's something respectable about someone who realized that politics right now is totally a show, and you know, be to it.
Yeah, I saw the one quote about the woman. They were like, apparently they were calling her drunk, and she's like, "That's not. I'm not drunk. That's just my personality." And they were like that's better. Like,
I heard
ever.
about that.
I
I
was
didn't.
like, oh god. I'm like, and that's once again, this is me just quoting something. Didn't look into it. Didn't. I did see a couple of clips of
No, it's
that
okay.
woman
That's my
talking.
favorite. That's like super important is when someone just kind of just goes.
By the way, yeah, this has no background, and I have no idea if this is true or not.
It's okay. I've only heard about it on NPR. I don't know how. I didn't look it up either. It's gotten to the point where I'm just like,
So you know the whole story.
I kind of do. I don't know.
Well,
Something
she was
about
one of
the.
the voters. She was one of the states that was saying
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, we were not voting fraud. Like, I don't know. We
Was
had a
she
bunch.
drunk?
I think she just wasn't very smart. I don't think it was necessarily drunk. I think she just, yeah, she just seemed not very intelligent. And she did seem kind of mad that she was getting accused of. But I think if I did my job, I would be grumpy and that I was getting accused either way. You know what I mean? You know? I don't know if I'd really be good at being innocent, even if I was innocent. Because I'd be like, why am I even fucking in here? And they're like, you look super guilty, yo. Like, at this point.
So I did this paper for college. I was in a class called like you had to like understand the searching habits of a group, and my group that I decided to pick was anti-vaxxers because I was like, this is fascinating. I didn't know anything about
What do
them.
you mean searching? Like searching on the internet? Like how they get their information?
Yeah, not
Okay.
just searching on the internet. Like, do they go to the library? They don't. Do they go to their
No, they
local
literally
passive?
just spew out shit they've heard.
Yeah. No, but like I'm not like belittling them at all.
Okay, it was just that there was not a lot of background.
I'm very interested in people who believe in conspiracy theories, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The conspiracy theory, like there's a million conspiracy theories that are right. You should be, suspicious of our government. They're not the greatest. They are hiding stuff. So I'm not like coming to it like with a. I totally get it. But one of the things that I will say that I did feel strongly about vaccines. I thought that this is, you're making excuses or whatever, and a little bit of reading about it, it totally makes sense. I get it.
The people you're saying where they could find that argument?
Yeah, no. Their arguments are not that ridiculous. We're not talking about. Did you look up QAnon yet?
I read the article that you sent me.
I did. Okay.
And that's again, as much homework as I'm going to do.
I'm not downputting them either.
The argument that you already told me is
there's nothing wrong with, I just, whatever. I honestly do usually agree with whatever the scientists say. And yeah, they could have a conspiracy theory. That's totally, yeah, you're right. They could. But I remember trying to interview them, and it was so weird because I kept on trying to say, because I was trying to come with it unbiased. I was like, they were always like, so what do you feel? I'm like, that doesn't matter. I'm trying to see where you come from. I'm trying to understand what your searching habits are.
Right.
Did you develop this? Did you have an opinion first, or did you see something that created your opinion?
Right. What
I'm just
made you
trying to
interested in this?
just what made you interested. Where do you get your sources? How do you decide what an authority is? That was what was really interesting to me. And the worst is that my title is a chemist, have no knowledge of it. So they always think that I know what's going on, and they think that I'm gonna like figure it out for them. They're like, oh, we got you on your back, and then they like slowly realize that I'm just like literally just doing a study on their
literally,
certain.
there's no answers at
There's
the
no
end of
I'm
these
like
questions.
super being unbiased about this, and once they realize that like either I'm not against them or I'm not for them, I'm totally not interesting.
You're useless now. Thank you. But we are at an hour and 5 minutes, sir. I really appreciate your time. I really do.
I enjoyed myself.
We got yelled at for being too boring a couple of times, but I think everyone was having fun. Nancy Weems, Aunt Linda, Bonnie, Scalisi. Guys, thank you for hanging. I saw Bruno was falling asleep. Cedric hanging out. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging. Thank you, Matt, as always, for your time. And yeah, guys, please follow, share, like, do your thing, and subscribe to Mandy Jones, the comedian, on YouTube. I will see you guys on Wednesday on the Wildflowers. Bye.